Three, two, one, boom, we're rolling. College football national champion Joe Taylor. I'm so glad you're here, dude.
Good to be here. Good to chop it up with you. I haven't talked to you in a minute. It's been
I haven't seen
probably
you in
since
a
the last
minute.
time you were in Seatown.
I
Even
know I
before
haven't
that,
seen you in forever. This will be good, man. What's going on?
nothing. Just try not to do the same thing every day. Did that did that for a few months, and it kind of gets tiring. So once you get out of the season, you just try and live it up, try and change things up. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, we got a little time off, so trying to enjoy it as much as possible. But we're back at it already. So just been
Are they
living.
making y'all? Are they making y'all lift?
Yeah, so we got we got like 2 weeks off, and then they just said, "Yeah, we're back at it." So, no, it's you know, a lot of guys have said you go from highs to the highs, and then kind of what's happened the past week and a half, kind of you know try and try and figure out how you feel and try not to let the emotions control it.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you think Jim was gonna leave? Like your personal opinion?
Personally, yeah, I think
Yeah,
I think he was just kind of waiting for an offer, and I think he finally got one. He's like, "Yeah, I want to take this," which I mean,
yeah.
good for him. I mean, he's been wanting to do that, and I think the league is a lot better place for a guy like him. But no, it was good. Happy for him, and you know, it was good. He's a heck of a dude. I mean, as you've heard, but yeah, no, it was that was good. And then kind of the big one is Herb, Coach Herb, the
Yep.
the strength coach. He was kind of like the guy, and
Yeah.
you know, he's he's a realist. He's gonna love you up, but he's gonna make sure you do things right and how they're supposed to be. So that one hurt a little bit, but we're in good hands. We're in good hands for sure
Where'd he go?
with coach.
Oh, that's right. I knew somebody did, but I couldn't remember who it
Yeah,
was. So,
yeah.
okay,
It was it was
strength coach.
it was kind of weird thinking college strength coach. Kind of the NFL life is a little different, and then that all happened. And we were kind of like, you know what, like coaching him or the boys, like wherever he goes, Herb will follow him. So it was good for him, and yeah, it'll all work out. Like I said, we're in good hands for sure.
Yeah, Coach Moore seems like a real solid guy.
Oh my god, that guy, he's a. I've been saying this. He's the Dolphins coach in college football, Mike McDaniel's. Just kind of,
Really?
yeah, he cares about the guys. Always gonna bring the juice. Same guy every day, but he's awesome. He's we actually, so me and my roommates, we were going to a hockey game here. We walked through the facility to get to Yost. You know how it is, like Yost and then the
Mm-hmm.
facility, they're right next to each other. So we're walking through the facility, and he pulls in his murdered out Tahoe, or Coach Moore does, and we're like, why is he? It's like 8 o'clock. Like, why is he pulling in his Shem at like 8 o'clock? Pulls up, gets out of the car, and he goes, "It's official, boys." And we're like, what do you mean? He goes, "I'm the new HBC here." And head ball coach, for those who don't know what HBC stands for. And we went crazy. We went crazy when he said that. It was good. It was just kind of it's a relationship that you want, and yeah, it'll be good for sure.
Really cool. And you
Yeah,
guys like that's a weird kind of dynamic too, because essentially he was HBC for what, four
yeah. For
weeks this year, right?
4 weeks, yeah. So I think he was the Bowling Green one, the head coach for the Bowling Green game, and then Penn State, Maryland, and Ohio State. So probably the biggest games of the year.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, there was no like the crazy part is like here it's I don't know if it's the way that we're just mentally trained or what it is or I don't know, but it was just kind of like oh like whatever like we don't have Coach Harbaugh, we don't have whoever, we'll be fine. So and that's kind of that's Herb. I'd say that's Herb kind of just telling us like whatever happens like don't flinch, uh,
Yeah.
no matter what. So that Penn State game. It was I'll keep it real on here. We got off the plane in what is it, State College? I think that's what they call it. And it's literally just a runway on a hill, basically, because it's like all valleys, and I mean they call it
Mm-hmm.
Happy Valley there. It's just straight valleys, and we get off the plane. It's charter, whatever. Get off right on the roadway. Get off, and everybody looks at their phone as soon as we land, and it's like Coach Harbaugh suspended, and we're like the
That's
Big
so
Ten.
wild.
The Big Ten announced it like before or while we were in the air, so it was like we
Yeah,
didn't
so
know.
you guys had no comms or nothing, couldn't see
Right,
nothing.
so he was on the flight with us to State College.
I did not.
So people don't know that he watched the game from the team hotel.
No. So he traveled and then was just like,
He
oh, I guess I
traveled and
can't
then had to
look.
sit at the hotel and watch the game.
That is wild.
So it was yeah, that was hilarious. Not hilarious, but it was just kind of like damn,
Looking
like,
back at it, right?
yeah, looking back on it, you can probably laugh at it a little bit because it was funny because we get off the plane and boom, it's Herb, Ward, and Ward's like assistant, and then Coach Harbaugh, and they're just like, what do we do? Like, just trying to figure it out. And the big thing was we're like, well, who's gonna be the coach? And sure enough, it was a combination of Coach Moore and Minter, but that place is electric, like electric. When they, I think it was the first drive for us. We went like 3-and-out maybe. I think we might have got a first down, and then the next set of downs we had to punt. And it was a day game. It wasn't the whiteout, but we were on the field, and I play special teams, so it was like I just run out there on 4th down, run on the field, and get off.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember JJ got sacked, and they had some freaks like Chop Robinson. Both their linebackers are freaks. Like their traps were like connected to their ears. Like you're like, is this guy real? Like, and I remember sitting with Blake in the training room on Sunday, Blake Corum, and he goes, did you see their player introductions on their scoreboards? And am I allowed to swear on this?
Hell yeah.
I shit you not. Their traps were literally like pulled up to like here. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, these guys are freaks. Anyway,
Yeah.
Chop Robinson, all those guys, they're going crazy. They sacked JJ. And it felt like the ground was like shaking. And I'm probably, I got my ear right into our special teams coordinator's like face basically, just so I can like hear the call. And it was like I couldn't hear him. And he was yelling, and it was unbelievable. So that whole story was just kind of, that whole day was like, wow, like that, it was crazy, but it ended up working out. So there's so many stories like that, from games and stuff that are just, you wouldn't even think of, or like you'd question and stuff like that. But yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, Coach Harbs, he probably went through like a whole log of Copenhagen in
I
that
couldn't
hotel
do
watching that game.
the amount of dip that he goes through in a day. It's
What is it?
unbelievable.
If he's gone now, so you're good.
Yeah,
What's his dip of choice? What's he working with?
it's for sure Copenhagen. I don't know what he's like. What, I don't know. It's kind of just like, hey, to GA, he's just like, hey, like DC, like a Diet Coke. it's awesome. Like he'll just, in fall camp is the best because sometimes he'll be in like our offensive meetings and sometimes he won't. And he'll walk in. He's got like Lululemon, like blue, like khakis, not khakis, but like dress pants, and then he's got polo, whatever. And he'll just walk up the stairs and sit down wherever, put his binder down, just crack open a DC and just it's hilarious.
Let her ride.
And he's just once he finishes the DC, it just turns into a spit can, and it's just like, damn, like this is the whole meeting you can just hear him spitting into that thing.
Yep.
And it's like, yep, there we go. So no, I think one of the stories that, and you'll find this funny, it was actually some former players. We had like a networking thing at our facility during spring ball, and it was like he was telling the stories, like Harbaugh stories and stuff. And it was like his son, one of his sons was being born, and he was just like, yeah, not sure if he's gonna make it. Like, he he's like, it's good for him. It's adversity. He
What?
said it's adversity for his kid. And I was like, wait, hang on, like, time out. He said it was adversity for his kid?
It's a former player.
A former player said that, yeah.
That's one way of
There's,
looking at it.
yeah, there's so many. That guy's, there's some days where you love him, and there's some days where it's just kind of like, it's like, damn, like, and you look back on it and you're like, yeah, that guy, he cared. And, that's the best thing is there's some days where you're like, what is this guy talking about? But you finally understand it and it finally will click at some point. And that's kind of the beauty, like the whole thing. Like, you don't know when, you know, it's kind of like these things happen to you and you don't know what to do with them. But like in months and days later, you like realize, like, you apply them to your life and you create these lessons that like these moments give you. And I
Yeah.
think like that's like the best thing because it's not like, here's the lesson, here's what you're going to take away from it. It's kind of like, here's the moment and you need to, take something away from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to sift through it. That stuff takes time. You don't know
Ex-
what's gonna come of it until later.
exactly. Which is,
Yeah.
I think that's, and, it's not that like you walk in there and you're like trying to change as a person or like, do all this, but like you do walk out of there and it's like, yeah, like you feel different. And it's not because you tried to intentionally and that's not like their goal, but, that's just what happens, which is, you learn stuff about yourself and you find stuff out that most people don't know until they're 30, 40 years old when they're trying to, you know, put money together for their family or whatever. So,
Hmm.
no, it's awesome.
That's wise words from a young. How old are you? 20? Are you 21 yet?
I'm not 21 yet.
Are you 20 or
Yeah,
19?
I'm 20 still.
Yeah, I think you're the youngest guest ever, man. Let's go.
Right, let's go. Making history.
Um, I want to keep talking about some ball here in a little bit though,
Let's
but
do it.
I read I want to go like kind of the beginning, not the beginning,
Right.
um, but like you made a pretty important decision probably 2, 3 years ago
Yeah.
that to me is wild because if you wouldn't have made this particular decision, which I'll have you get into,
Yeah.
like your life and your story and your accomplishments and everything else would just look totally different,
Yeah.
like just incredibly different.
Uh huh.
And obviously, I'm talking about choosing to play football at the University of Michigan opposed to baseball.
Right.
But isn't that? I mean, I know you've thought about that. I read the article. Was it on M Live or what?
Yeah. Maybe like a free press, Detroit
Somebody
free
wrote a
press.
short story about you a couple months
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
It was cool though. They interviewed you and your dad and shit. But yeah, talk a little bit about that and
Yeah.
just kind of the process going through that decision. Because I mean, I know you love baseball, man. That's
Yeah. That
that's
was
both.
bad.
I think that's both of our first loves, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. No, so it was weird. COVID happened while I was in high school, going into my senior year, and then it was just kind of like, well, I wanted to pursue a little bit of football, see where I was at there. Um, and COVID happened, and there's no camps or anything for football, so it was, social media was really the only thing that you could, you know, rely on and get yourself out there with. And me being 5'9", whatever, uh, yeah, that was, I kind of came to a realization that football, might not be it, and I was just like, I obviously loved baseball at the time, and I had a really good summer, and at the end of the summer, Bakich, who's now at Clemson, former baseball coach here, he reached out to me, and I think we legit had like two conversations, and the second one being me committing over the phone. um, so yeah, no, I was committed probably August my senior year, I think, end of July maybe, and then you know we football season happened. I played pretty well, and then it was actually I think Hunter Neff.
Yeah.
I think one of the analysts at Michigan was like, "Hey, like, what do you got on this kid to Neff?" Then Neff was just like, "Yeah, whatever. He's pretty good." And then they reach out to me, DM me on Twitter actually,
It's
and then
wild.
yeah, it's crazy.
You're
Like
not
I
even
said,
on
like
there like that.
no,
No.
it's weird. It's weird. It's like I think I probably had like 100 followers on Twitter, and 75 of them being like Chelsea people.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so he reached out to me, DM me. basically it was just like, let's set up a Zoom or FaceTime. We actually FaceTimed, I think. Showed me around the facility, and then he was just like, "So you want to come here?" I was like, "Wait, time out. Like, let me think about this a little bit before I commit to this." Sat down with my pops, talked to him about it, and he was just kind of like, "You kind of be a fool not to at least, you know, do it. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. You can still do one or the other." Um, and then I guess a big part that I kind of left out was my UCL is kind of hanging on by a thread, so that kind of had a little impact on that. So basically, got to football in May at the University of Michigan, and then I was like, yeah, this, we'll see. Like, I'm pretty small compared to the rest of these guys. Freak athletes. I came in there when like Hutch was there, going into Hutch's
Yeah,
senior year when they were loaded. And there were some massive human beings. Not that
yeah,
there's now, but
a Jabo, and
Jabo,
all them guys. Yeah,
yeah, everybody was a freak. And I was like, damn, like I don't really know about this. Kept on doing it, and at the time I was playing summer ball at Legacy, so I was like, shit was moving fast. And I was like, I got to take a step back. So I stopped playing summer ball, just kept lifting, and then fall hit, and then the season hit for football. So we started, games and shit, and then I wasn't traveling, so there's 20 hours that you can use as a student athlete, and I would spend all those during the week with football, and then I'd go to fall ball with baseball. So I'd spend my like Monday through Saturday morning with football, and then halfway through Saturday and Sunday I was with baseball,
hmm
and then basically season ended, and I was just like, you know what, like I'm just gonna stick with football because I would have had to get surgery, and then that was definitely a tough conversation to have with Backage, telling him, hey, I'm gonna go play football, and then they Backage left for Clemson, and then after spring ball I was like, damn, like I don't know if I'm gonna play, like I don't know if football's gonna work out, and Backage was just like, when I left, he was just like, if you ever want to come back, like you got a spot. So I was like, all right, kept on, spring ball hit. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna play in football, and then after that, I was just like, I think I'm gonna try and go play baseball again, like get surgery. And then thankfully for my roommates and teammates, they were like, dude, just stick with it. And sure enough, they were like, it ended up working out, and I ended up playing. So it was kind of crazy. It was, kind of like this. I don't know if I'm gonna play to, playing a lot, and then it was just kind of like, yeah, it just kind of took off from there. So it was definitely nuts, nuts to think that that decision worked out because I'm glad. Not that I'm glad I didn't stick with baseball, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't be a national champion if I
No,
would have stayed
you
with
wouldn't know.
baseball. Who knows? But yeah, no, it was crazy. It's crazy that a DM on Twitter kind of got me to where I am today.
Yeah, that and a lot of hard work. Would you come into like spring ball your first year at like 175?
Yeah, I was like 179.
Yeah, and
I
your
was
dad told me you were like shit, you were like high 90s like before the Rose Bowl, he said.
yeah, I was like 190, like 193, 195.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, it yeah, definitely definitely a lot of work, but yeah, it ended up working out for me.
Yeah, that's all muscle too, man. There ain't an ounce of fat on you.
Yeah, they do these scans and shit for us. It's wild the
That's like
amount of
those like DEXA scans, those
yeah.
in-body scans.
hmm
Yeah, those are
But
sick.
I got like 6 of those from like since I've been here, and it was like
Yeah.
it's like it has like me at 179 and me at like 193 or whatever, and it's just
Yeah.
it takes a picture and you can see where all the fat's at, and it's like it's awesome.
Yep.
So
Yeah, those are really high speed. How many years of eligibility do you have left?
I got this next year and then a year after that, so 2. I
Two.
don't.
Man, I'm
Well,
stoked. I fucking love watching you out there, dude.
it's a blast.
I wish you'd change your number though. 39 is a trash ass number, dog.
It's terrible. But it's gotten to the point where it's like, you know what? Like I'm in too deep. Uh, Like
Unju's got a personal jersey.
yeah,
Like,
they all got jerseys and like shirts
yeah.
and stuff, and it's like I feel bad like they spent all that money, so I'll just keep it the same. But yeah, no, it that's the number that I came in with, and
I thought you were 38 when you came in.
yeah, oh yeah, I was 38, and then
Okay.
there was there was a guy that was like white guy, like 5'9", literally identical to me.
I
My
see him all
freshman.
the time. I see him
That's
all
that.
the
No.
time.
That's a Colasar. He's
Okay.
35. He's
Okay,
35.
that's who it is. Yup.
Yeah, you definitely
Yup.
get us confused.
Yes.
Um, yeah, a lot of people come up to me saying that. It's like, yeah, I mean, thanks. I get it. Like we're both short and
Small white
yeah,
dudes.
and
Yeah.
we're number in the 30s.
Yeah.
But no, there was a guy before me. His name was Matt Torrey. He was special teams, like we call him like the ace, and he wore 39. So it was kind of like, you know what, like I'll just switch my number to 39. So
That's dope.
yeah,
That's dope, man.
I got one for you. I kind of was thinking about this last night.
Hell yeah.
Well, two things from when you were at Chelsea and Saginaw, and then you went to Bowling Green after Saginaw, correct?
Yep.
Got it. So like, when did it kind of like click for you, or was there a moment where you were like, you know what, like I kind of got it figured out, or like stuff started to finally make sense, or like where you, or like even a moment where you like kind of like it clicked, or like you just matured.
That's a great question, JT. And it really clicked, man. Um, Honestly, I know your dad's gonna listen to this, but probably like when we were making that run, my senior year for
Mm-hmm.
baseball,
Right.
because like me and your dad too, like looking at us at the beginning of the season and then looking at us at the end of the season, like we
Yeah.
both transformed together. And like I was a complete, like he'll tell you, he's probably told you stories, complete fucking idiot on that team. Like to like start like getting us
That was the other,
smoked, make
that was the
say
other
what?
thing. The spring break, the late when you were late for.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, that was senior year, right? So like you look at it like as a quote unquote leader of the team,
Right.
that's not leading anybody, dude. You're just being
Right.
a clown. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, people are gonna look up to me to follow and I'm setting a bad example and I paid for that heavily
Right.
via AT, like bad, paid for it heavily. So as the season progressed and we started kind of getting good and putting the pieces together, I was like, man, I'm maturing. I'm learning. Like this is how
Mm-hmm.
you actually lead these guys, because for whatever reason they would listen. Um, I wouldn't talk a whole lot either, but I just try to do the right thing, and then I
Right.
try to take that into college and shit. And then obviously,
Mm-hmm.
like you're living on your own, like you kind of got to
Yeah.
figure it out, dude.
You got to figure it out. Yeah.
You kind of got to figure it out, man. But to answer your question, kind of end of my senior year, but
Mm-hmm.
even like, I mean, every day, dude, like I'm still trying to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
I can always be better. Like I can be a
Right.
better,
Still
um,
learning.
I'm still learning all the time, man. Like I can be a better, husband. I can be a better coach. I can be a better, anything, man. So it's just,
Right.
as cliche as it is, JT. It's just you just try to be a little bit better than you were, yesterday.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um. Yeah. No. I was like, I was thinking last night. I was just thinking of some questions and stuff, and I was like, I thought about because that was my first. That was my dad's first year. Yeah.
Y-
2000. It
Yeah.
was 2012, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Um. You guys weren't very good to start, were you?
No. No, we were terrible, bro. Like we had dudes, and like we had coaches too, like really
Yeah.
good coaches and good players. Like Al was on that team. You remember Maloney? Like he was a
Oh
stud.
yeah. Bazooka.
Like Tanner filled in, Killer
Yeah.
Khan. Like all those guys were like really,
Killer
really good.
Cow.
CB, like
Oh
all
yeah.
those guys. I'm forgetting guys too, but
Have.
every yeah, like everybody had a big role. Cheese, like all those guys. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Just
what the
found a
fuck
way.
we were doing. We were so used to just sucking forever. Um, but then like the culture really changed in 2012 when your old man took it over, and we was like, oh, okay, mediocrity is not gonna be a thing here. We might as well
No.
apply ourselves. Yeah.
Right.
Hmm.
It's funny because that I was what was I guess I was 9.
Young, you
I was young.
Playing Game Boy on the bus down in
Yeah.
Florida.
I
Young.
think I might have had
Yeah.
like a PSP too.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You remember those? Those things were those are
I do.
awesome.
I had one. Absolutely.
um, but no, I think just the whole like just kind of like growing up and like being around you guys. That was like, and you know how it is. Like when you're younger, like when you're around high schoolers, when you're anywhere from like 7 to like damn near like 14 years old. Like you're like I like these guys are
They're your
like the
idols.
shit. Like
Yeah.
yeah, like I want to be these guys. And it
Yeah.
was just kind of like I don't know. It's weird because once you get to the age where you when those guys that the same age that you were looking up to of those guys that you
Yeah.
were looking up to, it's like weird because you like try and put in a realization, like kids and like how much you mean to them. And it was
Yes.
just kind of growing up. I was like these guys are awesome. Like I literally like wouldn't stop like laughing around you guys.
Yeah.
Even though I was so little and whatever, but no, that was when I was growing up. That was like the best like time for me because it was just like like couldn't wait to go to practice or couldn't wait to go to the
Yeah.
games, and it was
Yeah.
like these guys are awesome. So no,
It
but
was funny,
that
dude. Like, you remember when I coached a couple seasons, like a season and a half
yes,
before I
yes,
left? I think it was the first year that I coached with your dad and them. Obviously, you went down to Florida, and
uh
you
huh,
were like, we were taking infield like before practice one day, and you were at second base, and we
yeah,
had like a senior at second base, and then like a fucking junior, and then it was
uh
you who was in like seventh or eighth grade,
huh.
and I look over to Herder, and I was like, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing?" He's like, "Yep." I was like, "Has a seventh grader ever played varsity baseball?" And he's like, "Nope, but we sure could use him there." So funny. I was like, "Yeah, I think he's the best one we got, and he's not even in high school yet."
uh, no, it was just kind of like I don't know, but that was just I remember like that was like my childhood, and it
Yeah.
was like awesome that like I was able to spend it like you know my friends are always like oh like you don't spend time with us and like it was like well yeah like do you blame me like I get to go to the field and field ground balls and take BP for 2 hours 2.5 hours like
Yeah.
like why are you mad at me for that
Yeah. Hey,
it was
was your old man tough on you growing up, or was he chill?
oh yeah oh yeah
Yeah.
it was at when we were at our old house before whatever it was oh yeah it was good it was a lot of lessons there it was
Yeah, I
good
bet.
it was and then have you heard of the Band-Aid story you weren't on the team then I think it was like Stein Collins senior year
Yep, yep. No, I
he,
haven't heard that story.
he they were bad and I would always go in the dugout after the games and stuff and he took one of those the CF8s that he bought for the team and just
Is it Dia Marini?
yeah, let loose on a trash can. Like grabbed it, choked up on it, and just hacking it,
Who
hacking at the
did?
trash. My dad.
He did?
Oh yeah, started hacking at it, and I was like, "What the fuck? What is going on?" Like, I think everybody's reaction was the same. I think even the like Coach Mack, Coach Herder, Coach
Yeah.
Rhodes, like Coach Slater, they were like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And I just the next day, because I'd go straight from middle school right to the field. The next day, I walk into the dugout and there's Band-Aids, like like an X, like a legit Band-Aids on the trash can, and Stein had put those. There. It was hilarious. I mean, there was, you know, it was. It wouldn't really be a fun time when it was a Monday and they just went. They just took 2 losses on a Monday and hoping to get one on Wednesday. You know how the schedule
Yeah.
works,
I know how it works. Yeah.
or even a Saturday. Um, but yeah, no, it was a lot of stuff, a lot of good stuff, and he, yeah, it. Even I would say even now that I'm in college, like my first year, it was it was kind of just like you're on your own, and he was there to guide me, and he was just kind of like there were days where I'd just be like, well, this is bullshit, or like I was struggling, and he was just kind of like, well. just kind of got to figure it out. You know, like
Yeah.
nobody, like you're on your own. Like he can't. Nobody can come and save you. You know,
Yes.
nobody. Frankly, as a walk on, like nobody wanted to see you succeed. You know, they didn't want you to do well, and not that they didn't want you to do well, but it was just kind of like, you know,
Take it or leave it. They don't care.
yeah, exactly. Like they don't want to see a scholarship guy get beat out because
Yo.
that's their money and their job basically, like to get these guys and pay for their school and as a position coach, and then oh well, this guy doesn't pan out and he's not playing. Well, walk-on's playing over him. It's tough, and I think that there's so many lessons that just kind of putting your head down and just figuring it out on your own, and just literally just doing what you're told and works out pretty well.
Yeah.
So,
Um, I mean, like being a student athlete, I was one, but nothing like to the extent that, you are currently. And it's like totally different ball game nowadays with NIL and all this
oh,
other shit. But like I feel like like from the outside, people look at student athletes be like, "Oh man, they got it made. Like this is cake." To me, I'd
it's
imagine that it's a full-time job. Can you go
yeah,
into like just the everyday life of a student athlete, especially at like one of the most prestigious universities in the country?
yeah. I wouldn't say I'm the smartest guy. Definitely got lucky, but like, yeah, no, I think that like in terms of the student athlete piece, like it's not, it's a full time job, and it's they say 20 hours, and you know, yeah, it's 20 hours, and then you got to do your own stuff. Um, I'd say like during the season, like a normal day would be like a Monday or Wednesday. We'd lift, and depending on your class schedule, you could have a 6 a.m., 8 a.m., 10 o'clock, or post practice lift. And within all that, you got class, you got to eat, and then starting at 1, you got meetings until probably about like 3:30, 4. Then you got to go get taped. Can you got me
I
still?
got you. I
All right,
got you.
perfect.
Yep.
Then you got to
Yeah.
get taped and stuff.
If we get disconnected, just stay on. Everything will save, and we'll just boot it back up. It wouldn't be the first time.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Um, anyway, you get taped and go to practice. Practice for hour 45. By then, it's probably like 6:30. You got to eat, shower. You get back to your house. It's probably about 8 o'clock. And still got to do homework and stuff. So, no, it's a full time job, and I think that people are like, oh well, football this, football that. You're an athlete. You got it made. Yeah, we definitely get. There's definitely perks, 100%. I mean, gear and we get money for food and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, no, it's it's as if we were like a student and we were working a job and then we also had an internship or something like that. It's probably about the
Yeah.
same amount of hours. Um, but yeah, no, I think people tend to lose perspective as to like you know like they think it's yeah, we get to play in front of 110,000 people every weekend, every Saturday. But no, there's stuff that people don't really understand, and yeah, there's NIL, all this, but it's kind of like in my eyes, I think it's kind of like, well, yeah, like NIL is sweet and all that. Well, people don't realize, well, you got to pay taxes on it. You
Yeah.
got to figure out, you got to pay taxes, you got to do all this, and then you know, it's yeah, no, it's tough. It's not definitely not easy, and there's definitely times where you just kind of want to lay in bed and not do anything, and there's days where you just don't want to even get out of bed too, because it's just like I'm beat, I'm beat down. Um,
Yeah.
but no, those are the days that make it enjoyable because you're like, damn, like I don't want to do this, and then you finally do it, and you're like, oh, like I'm glad I did that, type of thing. But yeah, it's definitely tough. It's not something that I would say most people would be able to do, and I think that you know it takes a mindset of one, I'm not going to get beat. I'm not going to let whatever voice inside your head is going to win, and I think that it's uh it's definitely not what people think it is. I mean,
Yeah.
as you know, playing baseball at Saginaw, it's a full time job. traveling and
Nice.
all that. So
Yeah, and it's what are you studying, JT?
communications, and then I'm pursuing a minor in leadership and coaching.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. And like
So
the rigorous schedule that you're on, being a student athlete, I mean, you
mhm.
hardly have any free time. That's just going to
Yeah,
prepare you for life outside of football.
right,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. Can you
It's like,
describe? Go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
no, go ahead. Sorry. No, no,
No,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's like you like when we had those 2 weeks off, it was like I don't even know what to do with myself. Like
Yeah.
it was just like you go to class and you come back and I walk in my living room and it's just the boys just watching a movie. Like put up we put up our curtains and shit and like blankets and shit, like make it as dark as possible. And it's like two PM and it's bright out and it's just us chilling on the couch watching a movie. And it's like, you know, when we get time off, you really got to enjoy it. But like during the season, it's Monday through Saturday, and then you do whatever Saturday night, and then Sunday you got to go into the facility for injury check-in, treatment, watch film, and then Monday you're back at it. So it's yeah, it's full time.
What position group are you practicing with during the week?
Receivers.
Receivers.
So
Okay.
yeah, I've been able to be around some really good guys. Definitely like Ronnie Bell. He
Yep.
was he was an all time, and Roman's been going off at the. I'm not sure if you saw it at the Senior Bowl.
I saw
Uh,
the thing you put up today, actually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, he's been balling out. He's a good dude. Just those guys like Cornelius too, just great dudes, and like just older guys that know the way and definitely want to lead. And yeah, no, they're awesome. So I've been able to be around a lot of good players and also leaders too, which is good.
Were you there when what's his nuts from the Texans was there? Who's the receiver for the Texans?
Nico, no, I
Yeah.
wasn't. That was I want to say either a year. He might have withdrawn from the season during COVID. I'm not really sure though. I
Okay.
think I think COVID was his last year, but I'm not sure if he played
Okay.
that year.
Okay. Yeah, because I was watching like Houston when they were making that run towards the
Yeah,
end of the season, and they're like, "Yeah, I went to University of Michigan." I was like, "I don't even remember this kid."
it
Um,
was he was with like DPJ that
okay.
that receiving
Yep.
that receiver, and that was all Gaddis. That was Josh Gaddis. That was all him.
Gotcha.
But no, I remember speaking of the Texans when we were at Ohio State, and it was at Ohio State 2 years ago. And CJ Stroud's like a dude, like just straight up dude,
Yeah.
6'3", six
Dog.
four, can sling it.
Is he that
Uh
tall?
yeah. Though none of those guys look that tall, but
I didn't
then you
know he
get
was that
out there and
tall.
you're like, damn, this guy's huge.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember just in warm ups, it was he had 2 or 3 managers, uh, and all the receivers and tight ends were lined up probably I don't know 35 yards down the field, like just posted up, like just catching corners, like over their shoulder. And I kid you not, every single time, just boom, catch it. And it was the same spot every single time. It didn't matter who was catching it. It was the same spot every single time. And just kind of like that whole, I was like, damn, like these guys, for real. Um, but just the amount of freak shows and the freaky stuff that, happens in our weight room and in our facility, it's unreal. Like, I'm not sure you've seen it. Have you heard of Turkish Get Up?
Yeah. Hell yeah. With kettlebells?
Yes. Oh, well, we do them with dumbbells, kettlebells, and we've done straight bar too.
With one hand?
Yeah.
Really?
So I think it was my freshman summer, and Hutch, Aiden, he had 135 on the bar. One arm, you're sitting there like this, and you
Yeah,
gotta
dude.
press it and then stand up and then go all the way down. And I was like, huh? Like this guy just this guy, this guy just did 135 on a straight bar, Turkish get
That's
up.
gnarly. Yeah, that's
Um,
gnarly.
and then you got guys doing it with like a 150-pound dumbbell. It's
Yeah.
it's absurd. Just kind of that, and then we'll have like these just neutral grip pull up like competitions. You and one other dude, and you're just going at it. Whoever can keep their chin above the bar the longest time. And I think I think one guy, I think he was like 2 minutes and 40 seconds, just
Ooh.
posted, just chilling for that long. And yeah, it's. I mean, guys are dying up there too. Guys are using their chin, like hooking their
As a
chin on
wrestler.
that,
Yep. Yep.
just scratching, crawling for whatever. And guys have passed out, like trying to like just stay up there.
Yep.
I mean, it's awesome. Those days in the summer. Have you been? I mean, you know where the facility's at and stuff, but you know how like field hockey
Yep.
is right by the football facility.
Yep. Right next to it. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll we're big on like back like lower back strength just because you don't want to get flexed back, man. It's like oh shit, like
Mm-hmm.
and we'll carry med balls, and they're not like 30-pound med balls. It's like 150, 125-pound med ball, and it's not like it's like stiff too, so it's like you got to really hold it. And from the garage doors of our weight room, which look out to our practice field, to the field hockey stands. So the back side of the field hockey stands.
Ooh.
So you had to carry it 100 yards or 120 yards, and you had to carry it across the grass field. And it was just, I mean, I'm not sure if you've ever held a med ball that heavy, but it's the most like uncomfortable, like
I have
can't
not.
breathe,
Hell no.
can't breathe. Your stomach, it's like sitting on your stomach. Once you like drop it, you're about to like pass out. And you got strength coaches just whispering in your ear, like, it feels so good to drop that thing right now. Like, just do it. Just trying to get you to fold. And yeah, there's stuff like that that just, you don't forget.
Yeah, man. The cool thing is that you got 2 more full ass years of just
Yeah.
getting better, being around the guys,
Oh,
learning
yeah.
about yourself, making more memories. Might win another one. Can you? I really want to dive into this, man, because
Yeah. Let's do
it's crazy. Like I'm obviously 10 years older than you, but like I've known you since you were literally like a little kid,
it.
and I think as you know, all little kids, they always just sort of like they dream of the big moment, right? Like
Yeah.
when they're in the backyard shooting hoops, 3, 2, 1, yeah, oh
Yeah.
they win the game or like whatever.
Uh-huh.
Can you, and if you've even had time to like process what it even felt like, not necessarily winning a national championship,
Yeah.
but I would like to get into that. But like the night before, you're in the team hotel.
Uh-huh.
You're in you're in Houston, Texas.
Right.
You just had a great meal, probably. Coach gave a speech, whatever.
Right.
You're
Uh-huh.
in your hotel, you lay down, and you're like, holy shit. Like, tomorrow
Yeah.
we're playing for a national championship. Like, what is going on? Can you even describe, like, what that was feeling like when you were just laying there about
Yeah.
to live a childhood dream?
It was what people don't understand is you got a whole month from the Rose Bowl, from the conference championship to the Rose Bowl, basically a whole month, and then from the Rose Bowl to the championship, the national championship game, it's a week.
Yes.
So we won the Rose Bowl game. We flew back that night. So we got on the bus right after the game, showered, hopped right on the bus to the airport to LAX, got on the plane, flew back, got here. I think I walked in my house at like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to process what just happened last week.
Just beat Nick Saban in Alabama in the Rose Bowl. Are you kidding
Right,
me?
right.
Yeah.
So you're still trying to process all that. And in the meantime, you're about to play for the biggest game of the
Grant.
year for any
Yep.
team. Um, but yeah, no, it was, they kind of do a good job of trying to make you get like just comfortable because we were there for probably like 3 or 4 days before the game. So we practiced at NRG, the Texans Stadium, twice, two or
So
three times.
y'all got there on Friday. Game was on Monday.
Yeah, I think that's what we
Yep.
did, and then
Yep.
stayed there and just get adjusted. And it was like the whole week. It was just like, okay, this doesn't seem real. This doesn't seem real. Whatever. And then you get to the game, and it's like you get to the night before, like 2 days leading up, and it's like, okay, it's starting to kick in a little bit. Like It's hard to eat a little bit. You know how it is like before a game. Um, and then you're kind of whenever you get downtime, you try not to think about it because like for me that was like the worst thing. Like just getting myself like worked up and like thinking about like this or that. What if they give us this look? Like what are we gonna do? And just kind of like I was just watching movies and shit. Like just trying to like stay clear of thinking about the game. Um, and yeah, no, it was kind of like what people don't understand is it's 15 games. Like it's a long ass season. So you kind of get to week 14, 15, and you're like, okay, we've been here. Like it's kind of like you treat it like another game, but it's not another game. If that makes sense. You don't
It's
want to get yourself worked up because it's a national championship. Like just treat it like normal. Um, but yeah, no, it was just kind of like it's weird because people are like, people get themselves like worked up, like crazy, and then for me, it was just kind of like that was like the most chill I've been. Like I'm more nervous for week 1, week 2, week 3 against Bowling Green, UConn, Hawaii, like those schools than I am for I shouldn't say then like more, but like I'm more comfortable if that makes sense.
absolutely.
Um, so it's just kind of like whatever happens, happens. Like I trust myself. I know what I can do, and I know that whatever happens, I'll be good. So no, it was definitely it was more exciting, I think, than anything. Um, and I think I did a pretty good job of trying to just take it all in because most people just play the game and it's just like I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
Like I didn't get to enjoy that or whatever. And I think that whatever. I think when we got to the stadium, it was already like filling up. Like when we got off the bus, and I was like, "This is not normal." Like the stadium's usually empty. Stadium was like already filling up. I go out there for warm ups, and it's like people are going nuts. Like fans are going back and forth. I'm like, I'm just trying to like warm up. Like what's going on? And then you get to the game, and it's just like, all right, like this is legit. And everything that people said that it would be, it was. And to go back to the Rose Bowl though, that one felt like more of a national championship than the actual national championship. Just
Yeah, well,
because
they've been talking about that too, because I watch I love Pat McAfee. I'm sure
that, yeah, I was
there's
just
some shit.
watching it downstairs while I was eating.
Yeah, bro. I'm like every day on it, at least like a little bit every day. I always throw it
Right.
up when I'm working on my computer, listen to those guys in the background and stuff. But they were talking. It's like, how is that not the national championship game? Like, it's
It's
ridiculous. It should be played at that stadium in
every
Pasadena, California, every
dude,
freaking year, dude.
every year. It's weird because like we stayed in LA, like downtown, like literally like you walked out of our hotel. And I think it's crypto now. It was the Staples Center.
Correct.
It's right there. Like literally, you can see it from the hotel room. And it's outside of LA, probably 20, 30 minutes, and you're just driving to the stadium, and it's just hills, and then it's like you drive through like this neighborhood, and then boom, it's like in this bowl with like hills all around it.
That's like a valley.
Yeah, and there's like a
Yep.
golf course and stuff. People don't understand like
Mm-hmm.
there's a legit golf course like around the stadium,
Mm-hmm.
and um. No, literally everything about like our game couldn't have been any more perfect. The weather, the grass, the fans, the game itself, just everything. And it almost seemed fake. Like you're out there
Dude,
for warm ups and there's palm trees, there's mountains, it's sunny, the grass is like a pillow. It was unbelievable. And obviously let alone you're playing against like Alabama, which is I mean it doesn't get more like college football than that. Like Michigan, Alabama,
yeah.
Rose Bowl, overtime, everything. So it was the sun like started to go down and Bama just scored and they're playing Dixieland Delight and I'm like, whoa. Like I was like, holy shit, this is
Little,
electric.
little
Whatever.
different than watching it on TV, right?
Yeah, and like Mr. Brightside, like whatever. That's whatever. Um, like I'm sitting there like singing along to Dixieland Delight on our sideline. And, you got the sorority girls just going nuts. The cheerleaders are going nuts, and I run out on the field they had just scored, so like they played it at the perfect time. So like they played Mr. Brightside, and it was the third quarter, and we were kind of struggling a little bit, and then Bama scored, or they were driving. During a TV timeout, they played Dixieland Delight, and that bitch was rocking.
Oh,
It could not have timed out better for them. And I think they scored or maybe kicked a field goal. And I remember running out there. It was back towards Alabama's fans, and I could just see the sunset, kind of over the mountains. And I was just like, this is beautiful. Um, but
yeah, because
yeah,
they
no, it
queue it
was
up. They queue it up perfect. They start you at like 3:30. That way,
yeah.
second half gets
Uh-huh.
you got that sunset gets
Yep.
dark, man. It's
You
perfect.
you you come out of halftime and the sunset, and yeah, I mean it was unbelievable. It's like magical, like that place. There's all like whatever Rose Bowl game, it's always like a crazy game, and like
Yeah,
everything is just like I don't know. But and then I saw you saw Herb Street's dog, right? He's been
hell
taking
yeah,
that thing everywhere.
yeah. Ben, I think it's his name is Ben or
Ben,
something like
yeah,
that.
Benny or
Yeah,
something like that. He
yep.
was on the field after the game. Saw him. Probably the softest dog I've ever felt. But no, the amount of experiences that this year alone, just it's unreal. And it makes like I'm sitting there at the like scrolling or like even like when the combine comes up, like be like, oh, I played against this guy, or like it's cool to see like like your teammates on the combine and shit like that, or we're sitting there watching NFL games, and it's like some dude for the Chargers. I don't even know. He was a kick returner for TCU, and it was just like, oh yeah, like played against that guy. So just shit like that. Like it's cool to see that shit come to life. Um, but no, it was. I like I said, it didn't seem real, and I don't think it's really set. I don't think it'll ever sit in, because shit happens so fast. Like the
Yep.
2 weeks, it was like, let me just try and get my life together,
Yeah.
like get my body right, get my life together. And meanwhile, you're still trying to comprehend like what just happened the last 6 months of your life. Because you start in August. Fall camp's one thing. Fall camp for all of August, then boom, the season starts, and then you get a bye week, and then you get Big Ten championship. You get a week off after that, and then it's on for us. So it was you just try and catch up on life and process everything, and then by the time you try and process it, you're already back chasing something, and that's
Yeah.
awesome. I think that people, you know, and I was talking to my pops about this. I just think it's a weird thing where it just keeps going. Like
Mhm.
yeah, we met our goal of winning a national championship, whatever. Like you can't go any further than that, but like you just keep chasing it, just keep chasing
Yeah.
it, and you you can't get tired of chasing it because that's like you've been there before. You know how hard it is to get back to where you want to go, and you just keep chasing it, whatever it is. And I think that's it's tough to keep that mindset because it's like you don't want to be like settled. And I'm
Yeah.
not really a person like I'm not really a person that gets settled because you get comfortable and then it's like, oh shit, like what just happened? Like I'm in a
Hmm.
bad situation now. So I just think it's a good lesson within itself of just being like, just keep chasing it, just keep like going. Like somebody wants what you have, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Was there a moment during the season where you're like, "Fuck, we might do this thing," or was that just kind of like all year? Because like it's easy
um,
for like a fan perspective because
right,
like I mean you know where my heart is, man. I'm a Georgia dog forever and
right.
always. But like if I mean
Ravens too.
I still want y'all to win. Like I
Right,
know you're on the team. Like
right,
fuck yeah, let's go. But for me, like I didn't get to watch one play of the Ohio State game. I
right,
freaking saw the score on like Monday and I was like, oh hell yeah. But then when obviously everybody knew you guys were gonna beat Iowa, and then they
yeah.
came out with the rankings and 1 seed, and I looked at that,
Hmm.
I was like, y'all are gonna win a chip. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like you're gonna beat Alabama some way, one way or the
Right,
other. You're gonna beat them, and
hmm,
I don't care who you play in the next one. Like they're gonna win. So like just
right,
try to wrap your mind around that because
hmm,
Michigan's gonna win the national championship. As a player, being a part of the system, was there any
right.
point during the season where you're like, whoa, like this might actually happen?
I think definitely like Penn State. I
What year
think it
was
was
that?
just So it was Maryland and Ohio State. So that was week 12 was Ohio State. So week what 10?
Okay, that makes sense.
I
Yeah,
think
game one of the suspension then.
game one of the
Yep, that's what it
um
would have
the
been then.
second the
Yep,
second suspension.
that's true.
Um um yeah, I just think that it was just kind of like, all right, well, what else are you gonna throw at us? Like we don't have our head coach. We're playing at State College. Um, it's rowdy. It's whatever. I mean, dudes are throwing shit at us on the bench. Whatever. I mean, it's awesome. And I think that was just kind of the moment where it clicks, and you're like, oh shit, like we just beat the number one, like arguably the best defense in the country, and we ran the ball 30 something times, 40 something times on them. We didn't throw the ball once, maybe once or twice in the second half. And obviously, I'm just out there flying around on kickoff and doing whatever. But for those guys to do that, I was like, oh shit, like we got a shot. We got a shot, boys. And I think everybody kind of knew that, and we knew going into the season it was just kind of like, yeah, we got the dudes. Like
Yeah,
it's not an issue. Um, and yeah, it was. I think that game it was really like, yeah, we got a shot. And obviously the Ohio State game that was a big one too. But not to say that like you know we knew that we had a shot after Penn State, but it was just like, all right, we're for real.
yeah,
Because I think Ohio State was ranked ahead of us actually, because they had beaten Penn State earlier in the year. So I
correct.
think I think they were ranked ahead of us going into it, and we were just kind of like whatever, and beat Penn State at Penn State, and then Maryland. That game was they got some dogs, dude.
It was
People want to
dicey. It
this,
was touchdown game, wasn't
yeah.
it? Yeah,
People want to count out Maryland. They're legit, and they got Tua's younger brother Talia. They got some dogs. They were probably the biggest team that we faced. Actually, they were huge. But no, that game just that place sucks. It feels like you're in like a I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just there's more Michigan fans than there were Maryland fans. The place is like barely there's hardly any people there. It was a noon game. It was just it was like disgusting, and
yep.
it was like you kind of had to get yourself going for that game because most of the time games will get you fired up for themselves. Like you don't got to do anything extra, and it was just kind of like uh, what do they call it? Like a trap game.
Exactly.
Yeah, it kind of I think that guys kind of were like, hey, like this, like sneaky, like this is a game, and yeah, walked out of there. Thankfully won, and then Ohio State, and then Iowa, and yeah, kind of handled itself. So it was yeah,
Obviously, Harbs is gone. He's in the NFL. He, 9 years, I think, 8 or 9. Came
yeah,
in, couple Big Ten championships. I think four of them.
hmm
Made it to the Final Four 2 or 3 times, and then obviously this year, y'all got
yeah,
your chip. The media is funny. Like just being a fan, like you never really know what's being said or what's
right.
the mantra or the attitude. And with him being gone there, I'd never ask you this if he was still your coach, but he's not. So was he just kind of like, hey, fuck? I mean, obviously the mantra was kind of like Michigan versus everybody type of
Right.
thing.
Uh,
But was he literally just like fuck everybody, like let's go out and just dominate? Was he a good
he
motivator? Like what was the message he was portraying to the team? Like give me a good Harb story of him
he
you walking out of a meeting room just being like, what the fuck?
yeah.
Like let's go.
Um, usually those team meetings like they go everywhere. Like he'll be saying one thing and then he'll be talking about another dude and then it's just like where are we going? Like and then I'm just looking at my like teammates like what's he saying? Like what is going on?
He's a
And
weird dude, man. He is a
yeah,
weird
100
cat.
100%. But
Yeah.
like he knows what he's doing, and like
Yep.
he knows. And I think the biggest thing was his biggest like line was like, "Don't get bitter, get better."
Ooh, I like that.
And I was like, yeah, like I can get behind that. Like I like that.
Yeah.
It was simple and it was, you know, the thing was is with everything happening on like going on, like the suspension, cheater, whatever. He was the same guy every single day. And to be on the headlines of ESPN for months
Months. Yeah.
like the top story too. It wasn't like what you're reading at the bottom. Like it was getting talked on Stephen A's show, Pat McAfee, like everything.
Mhm.
Um, and social media is another thing. Twitter, I mean, is unbelievable. My Twitter's like, it's like I'll be scrolling, I'll just start like laughing. Like,
Mhm.
and it'll be like in the middle of class. Like I'll be in a big lecture and I'll just be like, I need a break. Just pull on my phone, Twitter, and just I'm cracking up. But people are like, they don't care. They
No.
will let loose, and he was just the same guy every single day, and it was like the world literally wanted to kill him. It felt like they were, and like everybody hated us, everybody whatever, and he just is like the same guy, flatline every single day, and it was awesome because it was like, most guys when something happens, they change, they take it out on something at least.
Yeah.
He literally didn't change at all because he was still able to be around us during the week. He just couldn't coach on Saturdays.
Sure.
But he was, yeah, no, I think really the don't get bitter, get better was the big one that he had. And then, yeah, I mean, Herb was kind of the motivator, the strength coach. Um, he'd kind of always talk to us the night before games, especially when Harbaugh was gone. Um, but yeah, no, he didn't change. And I think that, Coach Moore did a good job of when Coach Harbaugh wasn't there before games saying, like, this is all we got and this is all we need. Like, the guys in this room. So, I mean, it was straightforward. Like, it was, and it's easy to say that stuff, and it's hard. The hard part is just getting guys to buy into it,
Sure.
And I think everybody kind of bought into it and was just like, yeah, like, Harbaugh doesn't call plays for us. Like, that's not a secret. Everybody knows that.
Mhm.
And he's just, he's usually there, just, kind of managing the game, just the refs, keeping guys like calm, making sure everything flows good. And I think that it was just everything just kind of clicked and we were good, which is rare to like, in my opinion. That just the older guys and stuff, and really just not really giving a fuck about anything.
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I think that's kind of all that it came down to. And, I mean, it's a good way to live, just not caring in a
Yeah.
good way.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna start wrapping it up here, brother. What's it looking like for I guess I have a question. Who's the backup quarterback that came in on some like random plays?
oh, Orgy,
Orgy. Yeah, is it
yeah.
looking like he might be the guy this year?
I mean, it's open. We'll see.
It's
We
open?
haven't we haven't
Okay.
had like any we haven't had any practices or anything like that. We won't have anything until after spring break. So
Do you
I
live
mean,
with
he's
one of
a
the other quarterbacks?
yeah, Davis. Davis, he can spin
Okay.
it. He can really
Is he a
spin it.
stud?
He's a dog. He can spin it. He's smart too. Like wait, he when I played defense and then I came over to the offense and had to learn the whole thing and he just taught it to me. So
Sure.
he knows everything and he can really spin it. But no, it'll be good. It'll be interesting. I think that you know yeah, it'll be good. We'll see.
Yeah, that'll be
Orgy's a
fun.
freak though. Orgy's a freak. He can fly and I mean he'll run through your face and stiff
Yeah,
arm you
he
or
looks
whatever
just
you want.
big, dude.
He just glides, just
Yeah.
glides and his quads and I mean he's a freak.
Where's he from, by the way? Is he a Florida guy?
Texas,
Texas?
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Texas and his brother actually I think he's on the P squad practice squad with the Saints. Played at Vanderbilt. He was a linebacker at Vanderbilt. His brother was.
Okay. Y'all
So
play
yeah,
Texas. Speaking of Texas, don't you play him next year?
yeah. I think it's week 3. It's at
Okay.
our place. I know that.
Good.
Um,
Good.
yeah, it'll be good. And Oregon
Yeah.
and I think we play Washington again. So yeah, no, our schedule's no joke this year. The first 3, it's
Yeah.
like Fresno and Texas is 3, and then maybe Arkansas State. I don't know. Not really sure.
Okay.
I'm not really focused on that.
No, no, enjoy yourself, man. Enjoy yourself. What about for you, man? You got any opportunities? Do you think you might
Shit,
see
just
the field a little bit more?
I mean, might we'll see. Probably just the same old special teams, playing the core 4, the punt return, kickoff return, and live it up there. That's kind of been my
Bread and
thing. And
butter.
yeah, no, that shit's fun. It's a straight one-on-one dead sprint for 50, 60 yards,
Yeah, that's
and
like the best thing about that's like the oh man.
you're on an
You
island.
can't
You
beat
can't
it.
hide. You cannot hide,
No.
and it's. you know, there's times where you'll get beat, and it's just like, damn, like yeah, that guy. Like I remember against Iowa, I got like I probably got tackled. It was probably a holding, and I remember I was on the ground, got up. It was a fair catch, whatever. And the dude he's just like, can you just at least show some effort? And I was like, damn. I was like, fuck. I was like, dude, like, yeah, I got you. Like, sure.
I remember
Uh,
watching the TCU game last year, and
mhm.
I think you had 3 tackles.
Yeah, that
But
game was.
you missed 2, and I was texting your dad. I think you
Did
missed
I?
at least 1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
I was texting your dad. I was like, "Yo, JT needs to break down. He's running too fast." Because you would, or maybe it was on. No, maybe it was on return. One or the other. Like you were just running by dudes. You were just going too fast. You either weren't tackling or taking on the block, or one of the two. But I was laughing, and then you ended up making like 3 tackles, which was hype. So
Yeah, no, that game was whatever. That game sucked, but it was good.
yeah.
So
Well, dude, I'm so glad we got to do this. This was a lot of fun.
I know it was good to catch up with you. I got one for you, and I want to
Yeah.
save this one. We can end with this one, but you're out of the police academy now, right? Are you
Yeah,
still
I'm
in it?
not the. No,
Right.
I'm not the police anymore. Nope.
Yeah. But basically, what I wanted to ask you is why? Like, why'd you get into it? Because there not
What?
a, like not everybody like is just like, you know what, like I really want to be, you know, police academy, stuff like that. But like, there's a reason why. So like, why is
Yeah.
that for you, or why
Yeah.
was it?
I've told this to quite a few people. I think on other podcasts that I've like been on and shit. And there's a really generic answer that people will give you, and
Yeah.
that I mean, I'll just tell you my reason. But first of all, the generic reason is, oh man, I just wanted to help people, and I think that I could do good in my community, and this, that, and the other. It's like, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, okay, sure. Like,
Right.
of course, like I enjoy helping people. That was a part of it,
Right.
but it wasn't like, oh, I can make a difference. You ain't making no difference, dude. Like,
Right.
not doing this job. I mean, you'll make sm small differences in terms of
Right.
like with immediate people that you deal with on calls, but like in terms of impacting a whole community, like not in the cities I worked at, man, too big.
Right.
Um, but for me, it was like, in all honesty, I was like, I don't know what the fuck else I want to do. I was like, I'm studying business at Saginaw Valley State, and I was like, what kind of business? Like, I have no idea what the hell I want to do. I was like, and the only classes that interest me were like criminal justice classes, like
Right.
learning about the law and learning about stuff like that.
Uh huh.
And when I was saying, I was like, maybe I could be a cop. And I honestly, dude, I was like, I think I would be good at it. So
Right.
that's why I chose to do it. I was like, I think it'd be fun. It'd be something probably different every day. It'd
Hmm.
be a challenge. It'd be a way to like kind of be a part of a team
Right.
and work together towards
Right.
somewhat of a common goal.
Common goal. Yeah.
Try to make an impact, um, which we did at times, but the real simple answer was, dude, I was just like, I think I'd probably be pretty decent at this, and I honestly didn't know what I wanted to do at
Right.
the time, and yeah, I got hired and got through it, and it was a fun 5 years. Like that's also where I like kind of learned how to
Right.
mature and grow
Hmm.
up. Like when you show
I've
up
seen a lot of
somewhere,
shit too.
a lot of stuff, and yeah, you kind of just figure out how the world works a little bit, and
Hmm.
figure out kind of the man you want to be and shit like that. But yeah, my answer is a little bit different from your prototypical. I just wanted to help people, and it's like, nah, you
Yeah.
wanted a badge and a gun. Like, shut up, you didn't.
You wanted the name and the clout for it.
Yeah, it changes people, dude. I
I
know a
bet.
ton of people that I went to school with, like through the police academy in Nashville and stuff, and then like they get their badge and their gun, and they're like chest out, and I'm like, dude, I saw you and how you acted the past 6 months. Like, you're not
You're not
this.
that guy.
You're not that guy. Stop it. Stop it. Like, yeah, you passed the test and you made it through the training, but like, you're still a bitch. Stop that.
Nah, that's awesome. That's like the biggest thing is like just not knowing like what to do, and then you find like something that you're interested in, and you're like, fuck, like give it a
That's
shot.
it, man. Yeah, it was a good run. I'm glad I did it for sure. It was a good time. Learned a lot, and
100%.
yeah, Yeah, I always knew like when I started, I thought I was like, "There's no way I could do this shit for 25 years and retire, though.
Especially because you were in
No
Nashville,
way."
right?
Yeah. Yep.
And then went to Montana for a little bit.
Yep.
Well, not for a little bit. You're out there living there now, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Just hunting shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah, dude. Big time.
I haven't
Big
seen
time.
the sun in about. Go
That's why
ahead.
I didn't get to watch the Michigan Ohio State game. Me and my buddy, we both killed elks that day.
Uh huh.
So like we spent all day and like the next
Just
day like trying to get them out of the mountains, and I was like, "Fuck, I guess I'm gonna miss the game."
how terrible is that?
Terrible, dude. Like it was bad. Yeah, it took us
How do
like
you just how do you even get that out of the mountains?
you break them
Grab it and
down.
just.
So yeah, no, I mean you break them down. So like you'll cut off like their like back rear legs, their front
So you'll do it up in
legs.
the mountains, okay?
Fuck yeah, right there where they lie, dude. Because you ain't dragging them nowhere.
Yeah, no,
No.
yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yup.
Damn.
That's why I missed the game. I honestly did not see one play, and I have never even seen a highlight. I was like, hey, they won. Cool.
No, I mean that's awesome. Just hunt, and then I was about to say I haven't seen the sun in about 2 weeks here, so hopefully you guys see the sun a little bit.
Yeah, it was like 60 something here. The weather here has been crazy. But my
What?
old man said you guys got some snow the past couple
It
days.
yeah, it was coming down bad yesterday, and then it's just kind of just gross now. You know how it gets, just
Yeah.
slush everywhere, and
It's that weird time of year too, like about to be
yeah,
February in Michigan, and it's like ain't shit going on.
no,
You're in
no
you're in
sports, no
no
nothing. It's just
sports. There's football is there's one
football's
game
about to be
left.
done.
Oh man, it's a sad time. You're just waiting for like pitchers and catchers to report at this point.
Exactly, spring training, something.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Listen, I'm gonna let you slide. Stay online. I'll talk to you offline for a minute,
All
but
right,
let's cut this, man. This was dope. I appreciate it, and let's do it again, man. This is real fun.
100%. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
next time I'm in Michigan, we'll maybe all three of
Chop it
us will
up.
do. Yeah, maybe all three of us will do one. Me, you, and your old man, and we'll
Oh
just
yeah,
kick it.
that'd be
Maybe
good.
maybe you'll be 21 by then. You can have an adult beverage with us old
Hopefully,
people.
just a few more months, 2 more months.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll book it then. All right, dog.
All right, appreciate you.
Yes, sir.